we're here for another exciting episode of Fangirl Chat. It's been a little bit, but we are back in full force with several fangirls and some good friends of ours. But first, Tricia, my co-host. Hey.
Hi, Teresa. Long time no see.
Yeah, not really. But I'll see you in a couple of days. So we've been going to Star Wars weekends the past couple of weekends, but this last weekend kind of topped everything. And we have two of our favorite fangirls here. We've got Bethany Blanton from the Star Wars Report. Hey, Bethany.
Hey, glad to be on.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on. We haven't had you on Fangirls Going Rogue yet, but you get to be on Fangirl Chat. How's that?
That's great with me.
And then we also have Sarah from Skywalking Through Neverland, who you also may know as Jedi Tink. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you guys here. So, Tricia, what are we going to talk about?
Maybe Star Wars weekend?
Sounds like a plan. Okay, everybody raise your hand or just scream if you had a good time.
I'm going to fangirl flail.
Ah! Woo! So fun. Seriously, this past weekend was a blast, and I'm so glad you guys were there. And I have been going through friend withdrawal and Disney withdrawal since I left. And I know, Bethany, we were just talking about that.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
Don't they know you're recording a chat right now?
There we go. Go ahead.
No, you're good. All right. So, Bethany, tell me a little bit about what your day has been like since yesterday. Was it yesterday?
It was yesterday when we came back, and pretty much a significant portion of yesterday and today I spent moping. I'll just be completely honest with you there, and it was just like, I want to go back. Why can't we all just live at Disney together, like one big family?
It's the con withdrawal.
Yes, it is. But see, I didn't know that you would have a con withdrawal after Star Wars weekends.
Well, you know what? This one was like a mini convention.
Tell me this. They could have mitigated my suffering at least slightly to go video on you.
No, I agree. It was totally like a mini convention. It was amazing.
And so, Sarah, you've never been to Star Wars weekends, and I know that you guys have always been, like, trying to boycott Star Wars weekends, but I have to ask, was it worth coming?
Yes. My husband and I, we want Star Wars weekends to come to Disneyland, but we finally said, you know what, we'll come this year because we have annual passes for both parks randomly this year, and we decided this would be it. And we're so glad that we came this year, especially because from what we heard from everyone, this has been like the best Star Wars weekends ever.
It really has. They've stepped up their game. And I know, Tricia, you and I have talked about that, about how it's been a little bit of a step up from some of the years in the past. And I have some theories on why, but I thought I'd ask you, Tricia, why do you think that things have changed?
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
Before we get behind the why of how things have changed, because I've never been to Star Wars weekends before, or even to Disney World before, what do you guys think the changes are?
Good question.
Here.
It's been a little bit more respectful of Star Wars and presenting it as this is something we're really proud of and you should enjoy beyond this weekend. Hyperspace Hoopla would be the best example of that, which was one of my favorite stage shows, but it started to slide into sort of almost a little bit of a mockery of Star Wars. And so I'd say that's my impression. It just felt like there was more pride in the franchise, and you saw pride from the cast members, and the shows have always been good. The shows were even better.
Yeah, and I would say like the hoopla was starting to get a little bit on the risque side, and some of the songs they were playing, I was kind of like, I don't know about this. But the shows had more of a production quality to them, all of them, as opposed to just maybe like Obi-Wan and Beyond or
right.
with Ewok, a short story. And there's a different feeling in the air overall that, like, they're trying a lot harder. And while some of the things are still the same, I mean, it's stuff like adding dining experiences or adding the dessert party thing, which, Sarah, I know you went to, so I want to hear a little bit about that. Yeah. But just adding all of these new experiences and different things, it just made it feel like it was being taken care of better. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys.
Yes, it was like they had ownership of it. And, you know, previously they paid a license fee and they got what they got out of it. And now they're not just getting what they get out of the event, they're getting what they promote beyond that. So they want people to go home and be excited about the movie. Obviously, we get to see the little J.J. Abrams moment on the screen in the shows and stuff like that. So, you know, it's beyond just the weekends. So that's how I felt, definitely, that it was a little bit more of ownership.
And so, Tricia, why do you think that, well, I guess we already answered that. Never mind. I was going to be like, why do you think it changed? Here, let's just rehash the last minute and a half of conversation. So, Sarah, tell us a little bit about your special dessert party thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We did the Feel the Force package, I believe it was called, which consisted of, you get a parade viewing, and then you also come back in the evening to have a fireworks dessert party. And from the same location, you can see the stage very well. Now, being short, I always have the issue of when there's a parade or when there's something and there's not, like, a level, like a place to sit where you can see. It's hard for me to see because there's invariably a giant person in front of me. So
I concur, and I feel you there.
What?
I feel you there, definitely.
Yes. So, well, we went to the parade viewing, and unfortunately, even though we were there like an hour ahead of time, there was still people right at the rope. So I did ask a cast member what their plans were for the future, and they said that in the future they probably plan to have like a mat that they can roll up for like people to sit on, as well as standing area. So I still couldn't see the parade that well, but I could definitely see the stage very well. And then for that parade viewing in the middle of the day at 11:30 a.m., they had drinks and ice cream, all you can eat pretty much, and all you can drink. So that was nice. And that was our breakfast, having stayed up the night before at the 24-hour party at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, that's my bad.
That's all good. And then for the dessert party, now, the dessert party was kind of worth the money, I think, because, yeah, they had, like, all the different desserts. We ate way too much. They had all the different Mickey-shaped ice creams you can get at the parks. They had all-you-could-drink alcoholic drinks this time. So they had, like, the Dark Side. They had the Force. They had 3 different alcoholic beverages, including one with the coffee and Kahlua, which I love.
Did they have the Death Star cubes in them?
They did not, unfortunately.
Ah!
I know. But at the end of the night, you could take the other light-up cubes that weren't Death Star cubes. You could take those out of, like, the table. What?
I got those from my wedding dessert party. I want Death Star ones.
I know. I think they probably didn't have enough inventory for that, because you could, like, get drink after drink, if you wanted to. You could get sloshed. But we didn't. But it was a nice place to see the stage, actually. And
is it worth it to watch it from there if you want to see the fireworks? Because I know where that dessert party was, and last weekend I was standing near there, and it's too close to the hat.
It is too close.
Okay.
So, yeah, for the stage show, it's great, and it's nice, and it's not too crowded. However, for the fireworks, you definitely want to move back or be in the back of that area to see it, or just move to Echo Lake, like you said, Tricia, which is a good spot to see the fireworks. But because we had seen it the night before from Echo Lake, we were good with staying at the stage and eating and drinking some more. We had no problem with that. So I enjoyed it, but it was kind of one of those check off my list. Like, I probably wouldn't do it again, but I liked being able to have the option to upgrade and feel like a VIP a little bit.
That's cool. I'll be doing that the very last weekend, so...
Okay. Yeah,
I still
fun.
have yet to see the fireworks from further back other than up close. But I keep ending up at other parks at night.
Yes.
So let's go through everybody's top 3 things. I say we start with number 3, so put them in your priority order, and we'll kind of go around the table. Who wants to start? Anybody?
I'll start.
Okay.
Or I have to go number 3 first?
Yeah, number 3 first.
Oh, I have to go countdown. Okay. My number 3 moment was actually a moment that involved meeting. We were right at the first, earliest in the park. We were just getting there, and who did I run into but Sarah and Richard right there at the beginning of the park, and they talked about it in their blog. So it was like, wow, I'm barely in the park. It's barely started, and I get to meet people that I've only talked to online in podcasts. So there's my number 3 moment.
Oh.
All right, I'll go. And y'all are going to be confused when you hear what my number 3 is. My number 3 is going to be writing Toy Story with Riley and Bethany and Tricia and BJ, and subsequently losing my phone. And standing there with Bethany, very nervous and getting sick to my stomach because I don't know what I'm going to do without my phone. And a good thing I have my husband's number memorized, but how am I going to Instagram was what I was thinking. And then the cast members finding my phone, and then everything being okay.
You weren't going to fangirl flail, you were going to fangirl flop.
I was seriously, I was like, oh my God, you guys, my phone's not in my pocket. And I ran back into the ride, and I'm like, no, my phone's in there. And they're like, it's going to take 6 minutes for it to come around. And I'm like, has it been 6 minutes yet? Has it been 6 minutes yet?
Yeah.
So hopefully Bethany has a better memory than that.
Yes. Well, I would have to say my number 3 moment was getting on the Dumbo ride with Riley and with Teresa and Greg, because that was like classic Disney moment. You know, I knew of this ride. It was really my first real ride there, and so it just felt like it was a moment. It was my first Disney ride.
And as it should be. And then I dragged you to go take pictures inside of the Dumbo.
Yes, did.
All right, your turn, Sarah.
Okay. My favorite for Star Wars weekends, or my third favorite, was probably taking character pics with the Ewok chipmunks as Jedi Tink. So I dressed up as Jedi Tink on the third day, and I went around, took pictures with everyone, and oh my gosh, those chipmunks are the cutest things ever.
I seriously thought that might be your number 1. I'm surprised. Now I have no idea what your number 1 is going to be.
And yeah, no, it was just awesome. I love the chipmunks, and I got awesome pictures because my husband likes to take a lot of pictures, so I just give him the camera and say, go. And we have our own photo shoots. So, yeah, I'm not usually a character person, but with these Star Wars Disney characters, I had to get, pictures with everyone. Mm-hmm. So that was exciting. But actually, a close second, I just have to say one thing. I met with Gaston in New Fantasyland. Oh, my God. That was awesome. And
she's going on her side. No.
I'm sorry. We took video, and I'll have to post it a little
No,
later.
You need to post that soon.
Yeah, I'll update my blog post, actually, and I'll add the video to that. But, those are my third favorite things.
So my second number 2 is I was the rebel spy.
Woo-hoo!
and that was with a big group. There was, we had Jimmy Mack on that group from Rebel Force Radio, and a bunch of other friends, and so it was like I wasn't even expecting it, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me on the screen. And so the rest of the ride was just sort of me like in shock. So I have been the Rebel Spy once before, but I think it was pretty darn cool to be the Rebel Spy with friends. So
I can't believe I missed it. I missed it because I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, we all cheered for her. I love being on a Star Tours that we know the person who's the Rebel Spy.
Yeah.
I still have never been the Rebel Spy, and when it happens one day, I'm going to, like, scream. Because, never.
Is this a good time to tell you that I was the Rebel Spy as Jedi Tink?
Oh, my God.
Oh, goodness.
Seriously, man.
Jimmy Mack was also the Rebel Spy.
I know. Like, I don't understand. Why? Like, why can't I be the spy? Do I just look too, like, cute or something? I don't get it.
The best part on the Jimmy Mack one was Erish Shenovice saying that Yoda looked like about right for Jason Swank when he came.
Oh,
Remember that?
That was a good one. That was a good about the right height, I think he yelled. So that was a moment where I definitely was giggling. So, and there was also a kid on that ride who did not want to be in there, and he was with a bunch of Rebel Force Radio people, and he was just wailing. So, Teresa, you're number 2.
Yeah, okay, so my number 2 is going to be, number 2, the Rebel Force Radio meetup. That was a blast. And I'm so glad that we got to do that, and I got to hang out with Jimmy Mack and Steve Glosson and Star Wars Report and Skywalking Through Neverland and Techno Retro Dads and Sorcerer Radio and the Turtle Radio. I don't know what they're called. But just everybody that was there and all my friends and taking lots of pictures and chickafants and all that stuff. So much talking and cloud cakes and magnets and pictures. And James Arnold Taylor. Yes!
That was cool.
That was fun.
He wandered through our meetup.
And Bethany, number 2?
See, I was going to go with the meetup, but Teresa just did that, so I'll just shift it to something else real quick. And that is the Star Tours ride. The first time I was on it was the first time I was riding Star Tours, and it is amazing. Like, I saw one of those little sneak videos that someone did a while back of a bit of a Star Tours ride, and I was like, that doesn't look that good. What is the big deal about Star Tours? But then we got on it, and it was really good. The 3D was cool, and I'll admit I did jump violently at some point during it, but it was a classic Star Wars experience, I'd say. I really liked that.
That was with me, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Nice.
It is pretty awesome, that ride. So
I'm kind of using different times that we went because we just had everybody there. So
it all ran together. And Sarah, your number 2?
My number 2 was Richard and I getting an interview at the last minute with Jeremy Bulloch for Skywalking Through Neverland. That was pretty awesome. We had actually emailed him earlier in the week. We had emailed his agent, and then on Wednesday, I got an email in my inbox from Jeremy Bulloch. It was like, oh my gosh, this is an email from Jeremy Bulloch, and he said, I'll hook you up with the Disney people who can get you an interview. So then the day before we came to Star Wars Weekends, we set a time to meet with Jeremy Bulloch, and we met him in this little VIP kind of area where cast members only, the cast member only sign, so you felt special. And as we were interviewing him, we only got a 10-minute slot. Out pops Ashley Eckstein, and James Arnold Taylor was like over here talking to another group, and it was really hard to focus. because these, here's all these people I want to say hi to too, but we're like interviewing Jeremy. So, but he was very nice, the nicest man ever, and that was my number 2 moment.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I have to do a number one now.
Mm-hmm.
And my number one is sort of part of Teresa's number two, but it's very specific. And that was when Jimmy Mack talked about Fangirl getting in the Merriam-Webster dictionary for the meetup. He was noting that it had made the dictionary. We're only 6 years behind Fanboy, but Fangirl is now an official word in the dictionary, and it made most of the press that week. So it was very exciting specifically to have that moment. And I think that everybody who's used the word Fangirl proudly has some ownership in that. So yay.
Awesome.
Yay.
So the whole meetup was sort of, Teresa and I had talked about it afterwards, was almost overwhelming because there were so many people, and a lot of people know you because they listen to you, and you're trying to remember names. And I feel like I going through Facebook and, oh, that's who that was. Yay, because they're putting up pictures. So thanks everybody for putting up pictures. So I can remember who everybody is.
Really, thank you for putting up pictures and then like making sure I knew who you were, because I could not remember anybody's names. Tricia can tell you. She was like, hey, do you remember blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, what? And she's like, he was wearing this and this and this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember.
So, Teresa, you're number one?
Oh, goodness. My number one, and this is going to sound really, really cheeseball, but it was having Aaron there, Aaron Goins, because I haven't seen him since Fan Days in like 2011, I think it was. I haven't been in the same room with him, and he and I talk all the time, and aside from Tricia, he's like my best friend in Star Wars worldness, and finally getting to be around him again was awesome, but we totally had a complete friendship fail, and we only took one picture together, just the two of us.
Oh.
But that's one more than we had 3 years ago.
So you'll have to work on that for celebration.
There you go.
Nice.
And Bethany?
Mm-hmm. So this one is hard for me because it's hard to pin down a moment. But with all those general moments when we were hanging out with fellow friends and Star Wars fans and Disney fans, so as hanging out way late at night with Aaron and Teresa and with you, and riding cool rides and hanging out with Sarah and Richard and Steve Glosson and Jimmy Mack and his family. So it's just, and meeting a bunch of people I haven't seen in so long. So I know that it's that's very general, but it was each moment like all of us waiting for the parade in your special secret spot, Teresa, together.
Yeah, special secret spot. None of you say a word. Keep your mouth shut.
Else you will find out, and you'll go fed on us like that picture I took of you.
Yeah.
Anyway, but hanging out at the parade. It was at the meetup. It was the very, very late hours. Or it was taking 5 billion pictures of poor Steve as he laughed. That sort of thing.
Nice. Is it my turn?
Yes.
It is.
Okay, well, my number one thing, actually, Bethany, is very similar to yours. The fact that we got to meet all these people and podcasters and everyone that we've been talking to through social media, but we met them all at once, and then the whole staying up late, like literally Richard and I flew in 5:30 a.m. on a red-eye flight on Friday morning, stayed up all day. At 11 p.m., we were closing down Hollywood Studios, and we're like, you know what? 24-hour party's going on. Teresa and Tricia and Bethany, they're all over there at Magic Kingdom. Let's go. Let's do it. So we were literally up like 48 hours, but we were so glad we went and spent as much time as we could with all of you.
Because you got to ride Mine Train.
Yes, we did. That too. But
yeah, that was the extra special bonus for everybody.
That was. Mm-hmm. I love Teresa's face when she saw that was open. She was like,
"Do it!" I'm glad we decided to do that.
Wait, and if you're listening, you should really just let Teresa be tour guide, cast member, VIP. Give her the best.
And the little skirt.
And the shoes.
Because I may or may not have been giving people the VIP tour.
You need those little flag things, too.
Yep.
Yes.
She was great. So we're probably going to wrap this one up, but we want to make sure everybody can find all our fangirl friends on the interwebs. So, Bethany, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter. My personal account is at Bethany L. Blanton, and I do the Star Wars Report podcast with my brother Riley, my great friend Mark, and you can find us on Twitter at Star Wars Report or just StarWarsReport.com.
Oh, and Bethany forgot. She has an Instagram. It's the same name. Ha!
Ew, yes. Yes, I will say that Teresa perhaps more than gently prodded me into getting one.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sarah, where can people find you?
All right, yes. On Twitter, I am at JediTink, and also on Instagram at that same name as well. And I do a podcast with my husband, Skywalking Through Neverland, Star Wars Disney podcast. You can find that at skywalkingthroughneverland.com, and all the links to all our social media will be there on that site.
Okay, and Tricia is at Fangirl Cantina on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find her on her website, fangirlblog.com, and also check out her book. Yes, she's written a novel. She's a published author. It's called Wind. It's available on all ebook retailers, Amazon, all that kind of stuff.
Thank you. And Bethany, I was prodded on Instagram by Teresa, too, so you're not the only person who's succumbed to peer pressure. It's fun.
So, yeah. Yeah, Riley's been like, Bethany, you should get an Instagram account. And Teresa was like, Bethany, you're an Instagram account now. But it was good.
I love Instagram.
It is fun. And we have my best friend, fangirl friend, Teresa, at Ice Cold Penguin. And and that's everywhere, right?
Yeah, that's everywhere.
Everywhere. You can find her everywhere at Ice Cold Penguin. So no worries on any of those, Instagram, the Twitters, all that stuff. And also on Star Wars Bookworms, and that's SW Bookworms.
Yep. And
then we are on Fangirls Going Rogue. So on Twitter, that's FG Going Rogue. And you can find our podcast monthly on Rebel Force Radio Network.
Yeah. And you can find this show, if you haven't already, it's on YouTube. So it's Fangirl Chat. And no, we do not have any social media for that other than our own. But head on over there, check out some of our other episodes. And, well, I guess this wraps up this episode of Fangirl Chat. Thanks, guys, for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.